Okay, folks, it's a beautiful sunny June 6th, 2013. It's actually Sweden's, the National Day of Sweden today. But what better day to stay indoors and play with toys? La, ha, ha, ha. Yes, indeed, we are looking at the NECA figures I have in my possession today. I was in America recently and I picked up some pretty cool ones there as well. So I'm going to share all of those with you. They're mostly horror related, of course. I'm a horror guy and I like Freddy and Jason, so you're going to see a lot of Freddy and Jason stuff. I also have a demonic Freddy up there, but that's from Sideshow Collectibles, not NECA. So we are not going to be looking at that one today. Okay, let's get started. This is the Freddy vs. Jason NECA set. It's actually a box set, and it is very, very dusty. Sorry about that. It's pretty cool actually, but this is clearly a display piece. You're meant to keep Freddy and Jason on the flaming dock here. You're not supposed to take them off, because if you do take them off, they can't stand up on their own. There are these little pegs here that keep them in place, so if you move them even slightly, they'll fall over, tumble over. You can post their hands, you can post their arms a little bit, their waists bend a little bit. And another thing that's very, very bad about this set, unfortunately, is the mask straps here are flimsy, very, very flimsy. They're made out of a thin plastic material. It's kind of like a small strand of spaghetti. So you want to be careful with that mask. Almost never take it off because it's almost sure to break, unfortunately. But pretty cool. Jason is a little bit taller than Freddy. These are quite worn and torn. I've had these for some years now, but right now I've got on the Demon Freddy head. I won't be switching things up too much, sorry about that, but they do come in different configurations. You can place Freddy's head in Jason's hand. Freddy can have his hat or not. He can have his demonic Freddy head or his regular one. But nice amount of detail to these figures. I like them a lot, but you really can't do much with them. They're meant to be a display piece, so you're gonna have to have them on this board pretty much at all times. Otherwise they will keel over instantly, so that's too bad, but very nice set nevertheless. I'm hoping to get the 25th anniversary Friday the 13th set with Jason and his mother from part 1 and 2. I've sort of arranged to maybe have one shipped over. Here's a big one, literally. This is the 19-inch, that's what she said, 19-inch Jason Voorhees NECA figure from the 2009 remake. So this is the most epic figure you can ever get of Derek Mears. It stands very, very tall, very sturdy, huge old machete, and it comes with an alternate head, the sack head. You can just pop his head off, and you can also take the mask off if you want to do that. But it's highly detailed, very, very nicely done, I think. Very sturdy overall. You can move the arms a little bit, move the hand a little bit, and the lower arm. You can also put his machete in his sheath here on his leg. So that's a nice touch, I think. But these legs are very, very solid and sturdy. They do not bend at the knee or anything like that. You cannot move his legs at all. But he does stand very, very, very well. So there's really no trouble there. The only thing I don't like about this figure is the mask. Several reasons for that. You'll notice, again, same problem. The mask straps are not too sturdy. This can probably be fixed with a little glue or something like that. But it's already come off here, and this hair here is part of the mask too, and it just looks a bit much. I don't think he actually had that much hair in the movie to begin with. A little too much, if you ask me. But if you do remove the mask, and I'll see if I can do that without removing the head, that's what you'll be greeted by. Not too much color there. His teeth are not even colored, so that's pretty weird. But overall a pretty cool figure, I think. I like actually seeing that there's depth to the mask. You can actually peer in at his eyes, and there's actually sort of depth. There's shadow between his eyes and the mask, so that's a nice touch. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that figure. It's again, very large display piece, huge old machete. You can switch it out with the Sackhead Jason. But yeah, very nice figure overall. Okay, now we're having a look at some of the newer figures. These are the both of the new Part 3s from NECA, based off of Richard Brooker, who sadly passed away recently. We'll begin with this one. I've taken the mask off of this one just to have a little, just to mix it up a little bit, have a little variety. I like to have one unmasked and one with the mask, and I've placed this spear gun into his hand as well. These figures are incredible. I am so happy with these. Not only because of the sheer amount of detail in these, they look just like the character. They've really spent some time getting all the details correct, even down to his the wound he acquires in his leg in the movie. You can just tell they really spent some time on this, but they are much better sculpts than the previous ones, the sets. These actually stand up on their own. They have several points of articulation. You can spin the head, you can move the waist, you can move the arms sideways, you can move them out, in, you can move the elbow separately, you can twist there are ball joints on the hands. You can actually twist the sort of upper body. The pelvis has its own articulation. The knees have their own articulation. You can actually make him pretty much almost stand on his knees. You can move the feet even, and you can also make him well, see, I messed it up. You can actually make him do a split. That's how articulated these things are, and it's just so nice to finally have a figure with some balance. Very nice articulation in these. You can actually create very interesting poses, or if you want to, you can just leave them as they are. But fantastic job on these NECA. I think they really pulled it off well. I'll show you. This is the regular version of Jason. He only has one injury, and that's the one on his leg, right down there. You remember he gets stabbed in the leg in Part 3. And this is the battle damaged version from NECA. Let's have a look at this one, shall we? So there you go, this is the battle damaged Part 3. As you can see, he's quite messed up. He's bleeding. He's got the fresh axe wound in his hockey mask right up there on the top right. There's blood seeping down all the way, as you can see, down his face and down his shirt. Just incredible work on this one. Very cool. He's absolutely messed up. You can combine different weapons and accessories, axes, machetes, spear guns, stuff like that. And I've actually mixed and matched a little bit. I think the bloody weapons look better with the bloodied Part 3, and the unbloodied weapons fit well with the regular Part 3. I've also kept the mask only on the battle damaged version because I prefer those. The mask just looks cooler when it's drenched in blood, you know what I mean? There's actually depth here. I love that. There's real depth to the mask. There's actually sort of you can see a little difference between the mask and the actual face. Again, wonderful articulation. And these mask straps here are much better than the previous ones. They're actually solid now. So they actually come off in one solid piece. You can still snap them by accident. So you still have to be careful with it, but you can actually take it off now if you're careful, and it should be just fine. But the only detail I'm not crazy about on these Part 3s, because I believe these Part 3s were sort of the prototype, are the eye holes there. The eye holes are too small. They're almost half the size that they should be. Should be a good old bit larger. But on the whole, it's a very nice sculpt. The amount of detail is nice. You can actually see the wear and tear scratches on the mask and all. stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much the battle damage one. Sorry I don't have the tools. Maybe I'll bring those out so you can get a look at those as well. Just the overall tools included. I'm not quite sure which one goes with which. As you guys notice, I like to take my figures out. I like to have them around. I don't keep them in storage. I don't keep them in the packaging. I like to actually have them around. I like to post them out. I like to touch them. Hey. I like to look at them. I like to have them around. I think, you know, a display piece should be on display. I don't think you should... I understand, you know, the value goes up, and I understand if you want to resell them. That's just fine. But if I buy something, you know, I want to use it. You know, I want to have it around. I think this is the configuration. With the part 3s, there was, I believe, one regular machete and one bloodied one. I might actually be mistaken on that. Don't quote me. But anyway, that's what I've decided to put over there. And there's the mask for the part 3. We can actually pick it up, have a look at it. Much better. It's now one solid piece. Like I said, it can break, but it shouldn't if you're careful with it, you know. Nicely done. Okay, let's have a look at the part 4s as well. Alright, check that out, man. These are incredibly well made. Absolutely fantastic job here, NECA. 2 thumbs up from me. These are the Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter versions of Jason Voorhees from NECA. This is actually, I've actually got them mixed up now. This on the right is actually the regular Jason, based off of Ted White. And this is the bloodied, battle damaged Part 4 from the final chapter. And this one's very cool. We'll get to that in a second. Put this away a little bit and we'll have a look at this one first. Here's the regular version. Look at the amount of detail on that face. Just extraordinary. They really done a number with this one. Fantastic. I mean, it couldn't be better than that. See the caked up blood, the coloration, discoloration of his skin, his teeth, you know, his eyes. They've really done an extraordinary job on these figures. I love how they've actually got the discoloration in all the skin. They've got the gnarly nails. They got all that stuff. They nailed that. Really looks like Tom Savini's creation here. He's a little bulkier. He's actually a little fatter, to be honest. He's got a bit of a stomach. He's got darker pants than his Part 3 counterpart. And there's the hockey mask, which is worn. It's got that bloodied up axe wound from Part 3. It's got the crack at the top right, kind of a hairline crack. Just a wonderful job, wonderful job. I believe these came with a regular machete and a bloodied machete and a double-sided axe, but don't quote me on that. I may have gotten these figures a little mixed up, sorry. I like to mix and match, you know, that's the way I do it. Here's the bloody kitchen knife, very cool. And as you can see, you can post these guys quite a number of ways, and it's really extraordinary. Very well made. These figures are not huge. They're what, 7 inches, I think, something like that, 7-8 inches. But they are quite extraordinary. For size comparisons, here's my thumb. See, it's not a huge figure, but quite extraordinarily well made. And as you can see, now they've actually fixed the eye holes. Let's have a look at this mask for a second here. There you go. See the solid mask straps I was talking about? One solid piece, not made out of plastic. They're solid, heavy, and the eye holes are much bigger than on the Part 3s, which is the way it's meant to be. Glorious job, NECA. I applaud you thoroughly for this one. I hope they'll continue. Maybe do a Roy, Part 6, Part 7 or 8. Those are the main ones I care about. I don't really, if they don't do a Roy or an Uber Jason or a Jason Goes to Hell, I don't really care. But a Part 6, 7 and 8 would be fantastic to round out the set. I actually think a young Jason would be cool too, but we'll see what they do with that. Okay, let's have a look at the battle damage Part 4. Time for your close-up, Mr. Voorhees. Okay, this is the battle damaged final chapter figure from NECA. Again, just incredible. The sheer amount of detail here is staggering. I'm not even quite sure where they got all the references. They must have scoured through countless photos of Ted White to get this look just right. And they did. They really got it just right. I don't see anything. You see the worn off chevrons, you know, the crack in the mask, the fresh blood and all that stuff. I'm going to show you probably the coolest thing about this figure that will make fanboys such as myself squeak in delight. Yes, I said squeak because that's manly. Look at the bloodied machete there. Very, very cool. Just a second and I'll show you the secret to this figure. Alright, check that out. Look at this, man. They've actually sculpted the wound in his head where the machete slides down his face at the end of the final chapter, which means you can do this. You can actually place the machete in his skull just the way Tommy did at the end of part 4. Whacks him right across the eyeball and he just slides down that machete. Incredibly cool stuff. This is very, very, very awesome. Perfect geeky fanboy moment right there. I hope they continue to make these. It's just total fan service. I have to thank my friend Justin for acquiring these for me. He looked for the best figures with the best paint jobs and everything, and I'm just thrilled to have these, so thank you so much. Thank you to Justin and thank you to NECA. There you go, veins in his head, all that stuff. If only they did like a small Jason, small Tommy package, or maybe an adult Tommy and a part 6 together in a package. That'd be something cool. Okay, that's it for the battle damaged part 4 Ted White figure. Now let's have a look at some non-Jason figures from NECA. Okay, I'm sure you recognize these guys. It's actually the same person. It's the same being. These are the engineer figures from Ridley Scott's Prometheus. I was dying to get my hands on these, and again, thank you to Justin who helped me acquire these. This is the pressure suit engineer here. We'll have a look at this guy first. This is sort of when he's out of costume, so to speak. If you're familiar with the movie, you'll know who this guy is. And he's sculpted with incredible detail, right down to the armor he's wearing there. You can see that. And his face, his eyeballs, you can see the colors of his eyes. Just a real presence in the room having these around. And they're actually modeled to scale. That is to say, if I place Jason next to him, he's actually bigger. As he should be, because the engineers are quite much taller and bigger than your average human being. So these figures are around, what, 8 inches, I guess? Something like that, roughly 8 inches, I want to say. Whereas the regular ones are, what, 6 inches, I think. Have a look at the side there, profile. There are no special extras included with these, but the figures themselves are quite enough for display, in my opinion. So there we go, this is the pressure suit engineer, and now we're going to have a look at my personal favorite from Prometheus, the chair suit engineer. Okay, there we have him. This is the chair suit engineer. Some of you may also know him as the space jockey from the original Alien. He was sitting in that big old chair, that big old seat in Ridley Scott's original Alien. We had no idea who he was, what his purpose was, but we learned the truth in the fantastic movie Prometheus. I love the design of this, that black chrome sort of look. They used Giger's original design elements, the sort of bones and the sort of trunk. Just extraordinary. He's actually wearing a helmet, of course. If you've seen the movie, you're well aware of that. That was the big twist, of course. That was not his actual face, that's a helmet. And you know, he's not a very nice guy either. Guy of extraordinary power with some malicious intent. And he's got an armada to invade Earth with. Look at the sheer amount of detail there. The way the light catches it, I think it's just fantastic. People ask, like, why collect figures? Do you play with them? No, you don't play with them. They're more like, it's like, why do you have flowers? Why do you have plastic flowers? Why do you have posters? Why do you have paintings? They're art, man. They're display pieces. And they're collectibles as well, so... People think that these are toys for 10-year-olds, but if you read the packaging, it actually says 17 plus, 18 plus. And they cost a significant amount of money. It's not like you're giving them to your 5-year-old as a plaything. No, these are collectibles, and it's a completely different culture in America. We don't have much of this in Sweden. I guess maybe down south we have some stores that carry some of this stuff. But in the northern part of Sweden, you can't get any of this stuff. You have to order it online. It's not too common, and people think it's weird, but trust me, man, go to America and it's just pretty much as plain as day, which I think is wonderful, fantastic. I love the culture over there. So yeah, this is the fantastic chair suit engineer figure. Nice and sizable. Some articulation to this one too, but it's pretty sturdy. You can't move it that much without it tipping over or falling. There's one downside to this one too. See the cables there at the back of his head? There were actually 2 of those. As soon as I rotated his head, one of them snapped. It was made out of the same flimsy, plasticky stuff that the original Jason mask straps were made out of, so it did not last very long, unfortunately. I just hate that stuff. Please don't make those flimsy plasticky things. Make your tubes out of some other material so we can actually move and articulate our figures. Okay, I have one last figure for you, and it's probably one of the coolest out of all of them. Here we go. My favorite movie of all time is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. It's The Exorcist, of course. And here's the possessed Regan McNeil deluxe version from NECA, with the entire bed included in one solid piece. It's actually very solid, very sturdy, hard hollow plastic material, and the bed sheets are actually a sort of a softer plastic. You can actually touch them. It's almost kind of like a combination of plastic and leather. I want to say they feel almost leathery. Just a very nice job on this. Regan's got that sneer on her face. Totally demonic, looking very, very evil. Okay, there's a close-up. Evil Regan. It's hard to tell, but her eyes are actually yellowing. There you go. She's got the vomit all over her nightie and all the scars on her face. Very, very nicely done. Here's the kicker with this set. Let me show you. There's a button back here that you can press. How about that, huh? Her motorized head spins 360 and you hear the Exorcist theme. Just fantastic. Gotta love that. Too cool. The only downside to it is she doesn't spin back to the original position. So she'll spin like a little bit every time. So if you really want to get her all the way back to the original position, you'll have to press that button like 10 times or something like that. And listen to the theme, Tubular Bells from Mike Oldfield. But just a fantastic set. It's a little smaller than I would have liked, but I understand they can't make too big a set because it would just take up the entire room. What I did notice about this figure is that it is actually sort of to scale. Okay, let me put old Jason over here, Jason and Regan. He's actually sort of, you know, to scale with Regan. Imagine she's a 11, 12-year-old girl in a bed, and he's an adult male, so Jason's a little bigger than your average dude, so whatever. But she is actually sort of to scale with the other figures, so I think that's pretty cool. This bed is actually, I think, 7 inches long, almost exactly. If I put old Jason down here, then yep, he's a little taller than the bed, but lines up almost exactly. But anyway, fantastic display piece, fantastic figure, very, very well made from NECA. So cool, and I'm so glad I was able to snag this. I know there are Reagan head knockers, and I know there's a Reagan spider walk figure. Would love to get my hands on that as well, especially the spider walk. But I think this one is awesome, very, very cool. I guess I'll have to build my own Marin and Karis figures, but there you go. That's The Exorcist. Okay, you guys, those were all my NECA figures to date. I have my eyes on some other ones, but we'll see, we'll see. Just incredible stuff. I'm so glad to have been able to collect these, and I hope to get quite a few more in the future. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.